We can only heal ourselves. This, I feel like, is something that affects every human, maybe some more than others. I know there are a lot of people out there that are quite self-absorbed, so it's a bit of a blanket statement, but on the whole, I would say humans are compassionate, understanding, loving, etc. And at some point in their life, they go through this. Maybe there's a point where they shut down, they realize that they can't do this. But a lot of us go through life where it's easier to see the turmoil and troubles of other people than it is to sometimes honestly look at our own and see with clear eyes what our own trauma or issues are. I don't want to necessarily call them issues, but to that end, what we often will do is look to fix other people, resolve other people's turmoil, look to save other people, heal other people. This happens with your parents. You might see from a very young age, you might start to see your mother or father act in a certain way that is self-destructive, self-sabotaging, unconscious, not serving them. They're in fear, they're in lack, they're in shame, and from a very, very young age, we're born in high vibration, and we're born in awareness. Like kids are more aware than adults most of the time. And they start to see this, and they start to maybe see if I can fix this, help. The child's powerless, but this can often carry into your adult life when you start to develop your own life, your own understanding of the world, your own resources, etc. And it carries into maybe friendships or relationships if you have a partner or people you care about, where you start to basically develop. It's more acute in other people, like a savior complex, but where you start to have a compulsion to help or heal other people. That could be through information and knowledge. You tell them, you should be doing this. You're doing this wrong. You like, this is where you're going wrong. This is your, this is your trauma. This is, you should try this. Maybe start journaling. Maybe start doing this. You start to do that a little bit with resources. Let me help you out. Let me provide you with some security. Let me get your shopping for you. Let me buy you this. Many young men have this desire to make it so they can retire their mum, for example. That's a good one. A lot of people have that, and we carry this throughout our entire life. Sometimes we're looking to heal, we're looking to save, we're looking to fix the people we love. But this is a form of avoidance as well, for two reasons. One, it can make you feel satisfied, fulfilled, in alignment, because you're healing someone, you're healing the human collective by healing other people. And then two, you're not looking at what you need to take care of within yourself. But this is futile and wasted energy, because what's the expression? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't force healing upon other people. If someone that you love has leaky energy and they live in kind of scarcity mindset, they earn money and it goes immediately. They can only earn so much. They constantly feel a sense of lack and a sense of lack and leakiness in terms of their resources. You could win the lottery and give them 50 million and they'd find a way to get back down to zero. Right? And you can put all the paperwork in place, but once this particular person has to confront their own energy within themselves and confront their own leakiness, and you can't patch that from the outside. It's not like a tire where you just stick a patch on and it covers the leak. This is internal work, and quite often the work that we elect for ourselves when we come here and incarnate. You know, we might, it's very subtle, but we create environments, we create situations that force us to develop a pattern, a thought pattern, so we can basically break out of it. In that sense, it's a game, right? So don't take it too serious, but there's countless examples of that. I think the kind of the money, the resources one is maybe the easiest to see it, because that, you know, we feel like, oh, I can fix this person's life by throwing them some cash or buying them a house, paying off their mortgage. And so you're striving to make money, you're living out of alignment, you're doing a job you don't really enjoy because it's fruitful, and the kind of aim is you're externalizing your energy. That, in a sense, takes you out of alignment. So the key thing is that whole thing of focusing your energy and attention on the outside and directing it on another person and their own shortcomings and their own path to healing. You're leaking energy from your own system and not dealing with your own internal leaks and areas that you're in low vibration, and that can often be, I think I try to say that, you know, sometimes when I'm flowing, I'm just taking it where it leads me, so I can't even quite remember what I said 4 minutes ago, but that's a form of avoidance. Like you're almost fearful or shameful, or you don't want to see clearly what's within you. So it's easier just to try to fix someone else and make you feel like you're healing, right? But you're not healing yourself. And so you can't heal people can't heal from the outside, and you know this within yourself. If you have something that keeps coming up with you that's blocking you, that's keeping you in low vibration, doesn't matter what other people say or do to you. You know, people can be helpful for you. There's a difference between being helpful and being supportive and being like, I'm not saying withdraw support completely from people. You know, community, we need each other as well. That's not exactly what I'm saying. And people can help each other's healing, and they can teach and give therapy. That it's very nuanced. It's not black or white. So, but it's more about maybe the responsibility. You're externalizing the responsibility. You're making yourself responsible for someone else's healing. You're directing all your attention to someone else, and so that doesn't work. And when someone is doing that to you, you know, you might not consciously have the thought, it might be unconscious, but you know in your heart that you can't save me, only I can save me, basically. And then there's another cool element to it. I say it's cool because, like, a level deeper, you can heal other people once you've healed yourself. Once you've healed yourself, and this is more on the aura, the energy, the resonance element. So it doesn't matter necessarily what you say or do or give, but if you're resonating on a higher frequency, that is felt by other people, and those that are on the path to healing or willing to they've surrendered control, they're not so tight, they're open to they're receptive, their receptivity, those people can receive what is called a contact high. So, and this is the cool part, you take care of your own healing, you become self-actualized, you raise your vibration, and then just by being in the space of other people, your aura, your toroidal field, I can't say that word, like your field of influence, your energy transmits to those people, and they get a contact high just by being in the same room as you or the same vicinity, and it will start to shine light and trigger on their darkness. And it's not something that's conscious, it's not something that's shared, but it will stir up something that maybe is dormant in them, and allow for a process of things to come up for them that can then be released. Very subtle, not something you can control either. So what can we control? We can control our own healing, and our own healing only, by externalizing and trying to save. My brightness changed there. By externalizing and trying to save others, and committing your life to the healing of others and the fixing of others, you're actually avoiding your own healing, and you're not doing, you're making the whole situation worse. By focusing on your own healing, you can put yourself in a position where you strengthen your aura and you resonate, so your whole presence provides loving and healing energy to other people, and then they can pick up on that, and then it's up to them whether they receive it, they're open to it, and they use it for their own healing. But everyone has to take responsibility for their own healing. Before I finish, what exactly is healing? It's a bit of a buzzword in kind of this domain, I would say. I'll just give my interpretation of it. So I would say like a healing, if you had a cut, say you had a cut on your arm, it's the process of repairing and taking it to what it used to be. So something caused a laceration, or something caused an area where it breaks the skin, or causes pain, breaks a bone, whatever. And the healing is the process of returning it to its former self, where it's fully functional and where it's supposed to be. We as humans come into this world, and as children, our default setting is high vibration. It's love, awareness, gratitude, meditation, abundance, kind of those high frequency emotions and feelings. We have to interact with life. Life is painful, and stuff happens, and stuff can happen where it inflicts basically trauma, inflicts cuts or bruises. So we have these kind of like internal cuts or bruises, which I refer to as kind of just thought patterns, basically. And they hook in to our energy system and are energized by our thought energy and emotion. Perfect example is always I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but I would say, if I was to stick a number on it, 75% plus of people have experienced a boundary being crossed in terms of sex, or have had some kind of sexual abuse or sexual trauma. That's just the nature of the world we live in. Varying degrees, but I'd say most people have had that, men and women. Not going to go into that too much because it's touchy, and then there's a lot of nuance to that. There's a lot of there's levels to that, right? But just for the example, and what that can do is basically cause this kind of this blockage, this hooking into our energy system, usually in the kind of sacral region, the genital region, the hips, especially the hips, and it can basically cause this thought pattern of shame, and we have triggers that bring up the shame, but it hooks in kind of somatically, and this is another topic, but I'm just to understand my interpretation of healing at least. And so we continue to energize it, we continue to give energy to it by we encounter situations through life, and it triggers this shame, but we energize it, we keep it in the system. Healing is the process of allowing it to come to the surface and to be let go, basically, and dissolved, and letting it have such a hold and power over us. It having a power over us identifying with us, energizes it, keeps it within our energy system. It gets triggered, it gets flared up. You know, like when you have maybe an ankle injury, and you jump and it flares up. Similar kind of situation, but in our energy body, in our pain body. And it doesn't necessarily, the memory of it doesn't necessarily like disappear per se, but the energizing of it, the identification of it does. The relationship to it changes, and it doesn't have power over us. So we have some dog walkers. That's a good time to finish. But yeah, focus on yourself, your own energy, and all will be well.